Hi, my name is Stan Brooks. I was born in a little house in Chimborazo, the village of Chimborazo, the parish of St. Joseph in Barbados in the Caribbean. I grew up there and I stayed there until I was about 21 years when I immigrated to the United States. And like a lot of West Indians, we end up on the East Coast somewhere. I went to New York, Brooklyn. I was out of my element in New York. I wasn't sure. It was cold. I went in September. It was beautiful at first, but then it got cold, bitterly cold. And it wasn't really working for me really well. During that time, there was the Vietnam era. The war was still going on. I got drafted and I had to register for the draft actually. And I didn't want to go to Vietnam, so I joined the Air Force. And 6 months later, after joining the Air Force, I found myself married to Jeannie Dexter, a Dutch woman who was also in the Air Force. And we're still married 40-something years later. But one of the things that I recognize in myself is that I never left Barbados. It has always been in me. And I raised my children to think like Barbadians. We would teach them proverbs. I would make kites. I would make toys and share with them, cook the food, share the culture. But I never got a chance to take them back to Barbados because we traveled a lot in the military. We spent 8 years in Europe, 4 years in Germany, 4 years in England. We live in Florida, Washington State, and finally we settled in Lebanon, Illinois, where we raised the children through high school and they went off to college and branched out on their own. But what I can tell you is that during that whole time, I felt guilty I didn't take them back. But over the years, I tried to do some penance and make up for that. I started bringing my grandchildren back with me. As they turned 16, I'd bring the grandchildren back. So far, I've brought 3 of them back to Barbados, and it's had a profound difference on their lives because they've seen my culture, they've seen my background, they've heard the stories, and it's making a difference. So now I've decided that myself, I'm going to make this jump, I'm going to make this leap. I'm going to come back to Barbados. I always wanted to come back, as I said. I wasn't sure how I was going to do that, why I was going to do that, what was going to be the trigger. But what I noticed is that over the last few years, the noise in America, the vitriol, the tribalism, it really started getting to me. And I longed for that peace and tranquility that I found as a boy growing up in Barbados. And so one day I just decided, you know what, this is it. Let me give this a try again in Barbados. And so what I'm doing now in this process is to document my journey back. And one of the main reasons for doing this is that I know that there are a lot of other people who might be interested in coming back to Barbados but aren't quite sure. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I'm not sure. I don't have a plan. I'm going to work through it as I go. But what I want to do is to try and document it, and hopefully there will be others who will see what I'm doing, find some value in it, and decide they want to come back also. And I know there are a lot of wonderful Barbadians who have left and have shared interest in coming back to Barbados. And so I'm going to share my journey with you, and I hope it helps you decide what you might want to do. Thank you for watching the videos. Keep an eye out for my documentary videos on my process, and I look forward to sharing those with you as the time goes on. And thank you again for watching.